Do you remember the story of the little engine that could as a child? It was the story of a steam engine that, well, ran out of steam. It couldn't make it up the mountain to deliver toys to the children on the other side. It eventually made it up the mountain with the help of a little blue steam engine, which repeated the lines that we're all familiar with. I think I can, I think I can. But why couldn't the steam engine make it up the mountain in the first place? Was it simply because it didn't think that it could? Or perhaps was there something wrong with its engine? You see, steam engines work by converting coal to the energy it needs to transport materials from point A to point B. In the process, excess energy is released as heat, and pollution is also released into the environment. So perhaps the steam engine in our story was having a difficult time converting its coal to energy, and therefore it couldn't make it up the mountain. But what does this have to do with heart disease? Well, heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the United States. And when you think about why some people may get heart disease, you might say lack of exercise, bad diet. And those are correct, but there's something else that we should consider. Inside our cells, we have our own personal steam engines, and they're called mitochondria. And you may remember learning about them as the powerhouse of the cell. Just like steam engines, our mitochondria convert the food we eat into the energy we use to do work every day. Also like steam engines, our mitochondria release heat and pollutants. So, our lab's research is focused on determining if people with different mitochondrial genetic backgrounds differ in the way they produce energy, heat, and pollutants. And it turns out that they do. Based on where your mitochondria originates from geographically determines the balance of energy, heat, and pollutant production. But what does that mean? Well, suppose we have two individuals with two different kinds of mitochondria, and one person's mitochondria produces more pollution than the other. Just as pollution released by steam engines is damaging to our environment, pollutants released by the mitochondrion can be damaging to our DNA. And we believe that this increased DNA damage is one of the things that could increase one person's chances of getting heart disease over the other. Therefore, by understanding how each individual's mitochondria function, we might be able to better understand what makes one person more likely to get heart disease than the other. We also might be able to develop drugs that specifically target the mitochondrion to alter this balance of energy, heat, and pollutant production, or in the case of our story, to help the steam engine make it up the mountain. Thank you.